Hey guys, a lot of you asked for the pumpkin biscotti recipe that I was using in my fall coffee bar video, if you saw that one recently, so I wanted to share that recipe with you today. This recipe is a fall spin I created that is inspired from my Italian grandma's soft biscotti brown cookies. The pumpkin makes these a little bit softer and chewier than traditional biscotti, which honestly makes me love them even more, and the extra spices make them so yummy for the fall. They are pretty easy to make. We're going to start by combining 5 eggs, a cup of white sugar, a cup of brown sugar, a cup of oil, and a cup of pumpkin. That sounded like a lot of sugar, but this recipe makes a lot of cookies, and to be honest, they really aren't that sweet of a cookie. I also added my spices in now, but you could mix them in with your dry ingredients first. If you prefer, that might be better. I did 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cloves, and half a teaspoon of ginger. But if you really like that pumpkin spice flavor, you could definitely do 1 full teaspoon each of the cloves and ginger because it wasn't really that strong. I will have all of the ingredients and measurements listed down in the description box below, so be sure to check there if you're looking for the full recipe. For dry ingredients, you'll want to add 5 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then lastly blend in a package of chopped dates, about 8 ounces, and about 3/4 cup of chopped walnuts. Your dough is going to be super sticky and wet, so make sure that you flour the surface and your hands before you start shaping your dough into 4 logs. I placed these on a baking sheet that I lined with parchment paper, and then I baked them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 30 minutes. I think they were about 25 minutes in there. Keep an eye on them when they start turning like a little bit golden around the edges and they're not wet anymore on the top and they seem like they're dry. They might be about done then. The egg wash is optional, but it will give them a nice little shine if you want to do it. I do want to try making this recipe actually substituting some of the white flour for oat flour or almond meal flour. If you decide to try it like that, definitely share how it turned out and what your thoughts were. I was also wondering, do you guys have a favorite fall biscotti or a fall cookie that you like to make? Somebody mentioned doing apples instead of dates with the walnuts in here. I think that would be so delicious as well, or a combination of apples, dates, and walnuts. And I've also done pecans in here. That was good too. Once I take these out of the oven, I let them cool for a couple of minutes before adding some powdered sugar on top, and then you can just slice these as thick or thin as you like. This recipe makes quite a few cookies, so I always end up putting some out on the coffee bar and then giving some to my parents, my mother-in-law, and I will put the rest in bags in the freezer to keep them fresh. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this recipe. Let me know if you try it. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Bye!
Whenever I'm off to find a sunset, a flavor of a memory, whenever all the stars above are shining,